Hi guys, so this will be your Essay 2 prompt video. So we will go over the prompt, the outline, the rubric, and then I will show you where you can find some sample essays, and then I will also show you the assignments on Blackboard that we will complete in order to help you prepare for Essay 2. Alright, so let's get started with the prompt. So if we're in this folder here, I just clicked on this link and it opens like a PDF right here. So we will have a Humans of New York minor discussion board, and then a Raya Takaki discussion board, and then your rough draft and final draft. So we will cover all of this in this video, but I do want to get to our prompt first. So some background. This unit we will be looking at cultural expectations, traditions, and stereotypes. Forest Minor forces us to look at the Nasarima through an Americanized ethnocentric lens. The Humans of New York A project asks us to look at the refugee stories and challenge potential preconceived notions we may have about the intentions of refugees. Raya's It's Hard Enough Being Me pleads with readers to understand the many differences among Latinas and how she has experienced an identity crisis, struggling between her identity as a Mexican and American. Last, Ronald Takaki's The Harmful Myths of Asian Superiority argues that the model minority image homogenizes Asian Americans and hides their differences, as well as exacerbates relations between them and African Americans. Okay, so that's kind of the context of our unit's readings. So for this assignment, write an essay exploring cultural expectations and stereotypes. Incorporate evidence from at least 3 out of 4 of our sources this unit: Minor, Humans of New York, Raya, and Takaki. You may choose to focus your argument on one particular culture: African Americans, Latino Americans, Asian Americans, Middle Eastern Americans, etc., or on the danger benefit or benefit of cultural expectations in general. If you would like to use a DT as a source for this paper, you will only need 2 additional sources from our Unit 2 readings. So if we scroll down to the bottom, I've listed the 5 readings that are appropriate for this unit. So basically, if you just choose 3 from this list, you're good. Okay, and notice that a DT is on here. That might be a simpler way to think about the source requirement. Now, it does say here you can choose to focus your argument on one particular culture. So that's one way to narrow down your topic. Okay. Another way to narrow down your topic, and some students have done this in the past, is that they choose a specific topic, a specific stereotype. For example, academic success, and they write their entire paper on that. And so they pick quotes from the sources that all speak to academic success. Okay, or they might choose intelligence, or they might choose economic standing. Okay, so that is another way. If you don't want to choose a specific culture to narrow down your paper, you could also choose a specific stereotype that is common among the 3 readings that you're going to choose. And so with this paper, there's kind of a challenge of finding a way to narrow your focus and finding a way to integrate 3 seemingly very different sources into the same paper. However, you will find, if you look close enough, that there are many commonalities among these texts, and so you can choose any combination of 3 here and really create a specific concrete paper. So, some questions to consider for your paper: in what ways can stereotypes either harm or benefit minority populations? How can viewing a culture through an ethnocentric perspective be potentially dangerous or beneficial? How does each author contribute to your argument about stereotypes and cultural expectations? Okay, so these are kind of the questions to really help you be very focused in your paper. So you want to come up with an argument basically about the ways in which stereotypes can either benefit or harm minority populations. And here's a tip: if you are arguing that these expectations can be beneficial, feel free to use a counter-argument rebuttal structure for your paper, one that argues against each of your 3 chosen sources. So naturally, all 5 sources for this paper argue that stereotypes are bad, right? So if you think that there are benefits to stereotypes and you want to go in that direction for your paper, feel free to do so. That is more than a legitimate way to go about this paper. You will then set up your paper as a counter-argument rebuttal structure. So you will use the sources and then argue against what they're saying in their paper. And that's, like I said, perfectly valid. So again, what ways can stereotypes either harm or benefit minority populations? That's basically the key question that you're going to be answering in this paper. And try to focus it on either a specific culture or on a specific stereotype. That will really help you to be much more specific. So this one should be 4 to 5 pages, MLA. You need a creative title, concrete evidence from at least 3 sources, indicate a clear focus in a well-written thesis statement and stay true to that focus throughout the paper. You need an organizing principle, intro, body, conclusion, fully developed analysis of how the evidence supports each topic sentence and overall thesis statement, proper style, effective structure, and you're addressing a scholarly audience. So be sure that you're avoiding second-person pronouns, you and your. Okay, that is not addressing a scholarly audience. So that is the prompt. Okay, so I do now want to show you the rubric. So this is a bit small, but hopefully you can see it here. So the thesis, okay, laid out at the end of the intro, it's clear, argumentative, clearly directly answers the prompt, not an announcement. So it doesn't say, in this paper I will discuss stereotypes, right? It needs to be a solid, clear, opinionated statement. Okay, organization, body paragraphs follow logically. Each paragraph has one specific focus, one reason to support the thesis. Each paragraph stays on topic and connects to the topic sentence and the thesis, and you have good transitions. The paper needs to be fully developed and thoroughly support each topic sentence. The evidence used is thoroughly explained and analyzed, and the student thoroughly supports his or her thesis and uses sophisticated analysis to support his or her thoughts. You need to use appropriate tone, no second person, and you need to smoothly integrate your quotes. And just to pause really fast here, in the SA2 materials folder, there is an embedding quotes and more document, and this will help you, instead of just dropping in your quotes without any kind of introduction, without them flowing smoothly into your sentences, this document will give you examples on how to integrate. Okay, so it shows you here, not embedded, embedded. Not embedded, right? The quote is just its own sentence versus embedded here. So go through this and practice embedding all of your quotes, and that's what I mean by quote integration on your rubric here. Okay, you need proper grammar and MLA, and then the intro conclusion. The intro clearly contextualizes the topic and includes enough background information for the audience. If necessary, the intro introduces any authors and texts that you might analyze later on. The intro smoothly leads into the thesis, and the conclusion discusses the significance of the overall argument and does not simply summarize the body paragraphs. Okay, so that is what I'm looking for SA2 in terms of the rubric. And then I can also show you the outline. Okay, so this is really brief, okay, but in the intro you're going to contextualize your topic, you're going to have your thesis, and then every body paragraph is going to have the same structure. A topic sentence, which is a reason to support your thesis, you have evidence, and then you explain how the evidence supports your topic sentence and thesis statement. And you do that for every body paragraph. So if you need more for your outline, just copy and paste so you can add more body paragraphs there. The outline is in MLA, so you can simply copy and paste this if you want to. You do need to add your last name and page number, however, for your essay. Okay. So I'm not collecting the outline, but it's always a good idea to create an outline before you write. And then lastly, I want to talk about the assignments that will introduce you to these topics and help you come up with some material for your essay. So let's see here. In the first folder, okay, you have the Horace Minor reading and the Humans of New York link, and then this discussion board is on both of those texts. So this is really lengthy, so please start this early. Okay, there's a lot of parts. Okay, there's 8 questions for minor, and then you have to pick 2 stories from Humans of New York and analyze them, and then respond to 2 peers. So I do want to show you the Humans of New York website really briefly. Okay, so this particular Humans of New York segment is on refugees. Okay. So when you click on it, you'll see the opening page, Refugee Stories. So for the discussion board, you're going to scroll down, and there's a bunch of different refugee stories. Okay, so you pick a few to read. Say you pick this one. Okay, you click on Read Story. You're going to read the story, and then for the discussion board, it will tell you here. You need to summarize it. What did the story? Why did it stand out to you? Describe the accompanying image. And how did your chosen story either challenge or confirm the single story you had of refugees before completing the assignment? Okay, so you do that for 2 of the stories here on the Humans of New York website. So that's how we will utilize this source. And remember, this source is up for grabs for the essay. You can choose this as one of your sources. It's listed here at Humans of New York. Okay, so that is that discussion board. And then we're going to also do the Raya and Takaki discussion board. Okay. So here, again, there's going to be reading questions for both of their texts. You need to answer all of the questions and respond to 2 peers. So anything that you use for those discussion boards can be used later on for the essay if you generate some solid material that you can use. So keep that in mind as you're doing the discussion boards, that, you know, hey, I might be able to use some of this for my essay, right? And then lastly, I'm not going to go into how to complete this peer review, but it's exactly the same as the last one. You'll notice it looks almost identical. The questions are slightly different. Make sure you're copying and pasting the body paragraph questions over and over and over again for every body paragraph in the student essay. Okay, and then you're going to, obviously, you're going to copy and paste these for 2 of your peer essays, okay? And you're going to post to the blog. So if you need more specific instructions on how to complete the peer review, please see the Essay 1 prompt video towards the end of the video. I go into great detail about how to complete the peer review. Okay, so please see that video if, again, you have any questions about completing the rough draft peer review assignment. Keep in mind that the rough drafts are worth 50 points. It's 30 points for posting your own draft, and 10 points each. You can see it at the bottom here. 30 points for your own draft and 10 points each for the peer responses. So it's a big chunk of points, so make sure you're completing all of those. And that essentially wraps up the Essay 2 prompt video. Let me know if you have any questions.